as Best Radio Personality and Favorite Radio DJ, and even appeared as a commentator at the BET Hip Hop Awards. I know you saw him. Well, known for his interactive show segments like I've Been Thinking and Question of the Day. And sometimes I have to admit, I do think that too. I've been thinking about that too. Don't always like that. Yeah, but here we are, T-Roy, here we are. T-Roy connects with thousands of fans each and every week beyond the mic. He's an adventurer, community volunteer, and a cultural force whose voice defines the sound of Jacksonville. T-Roy, everybody.
God is good. Yes. Hello. And good evening. And thank you to the Ken Knight family. And thank you to just being nominated and recognized for what I've done. I was listening to everybody get up here and talk about their accomplishments and things they've done, but my story is a little bit different than everybody else's. I didn't go to college. I don't have no degrees. I'm really just a contest winner who won a trip on his 21st birthday through the radio station. My story's unlike anybody else's. If you think about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I'm Charlie. Like, really, I am. September 29th, 1998, I didn't know the train that God was putting me on.
Come on now.
And it was an album release party for Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life 2. Went to an album release party at CD Warehouse in Regency. If you're from Jacksonville, you know where that's at, right over there by Image now, where Image is. Yeah, right there. And me and my homeboy was standing there, and 92.7 The Beat was there for a midnight release of Jay-Z's album. And I think it was a Tribe Called Quest 2. And as we were waiting for the album to come out at midnight, 92.7 The Beat had a register to win box saying you could win a trip to the Bahamas for this thing called Jam Splash. Everybody and their mama was gonna be there. Missy Elliott, Tatiana Ali, 69 Boys, Big Pun, Fat Joe. Okay. Oh man, it was crazy. And it's going on in the Bahamas. It was like October, I believe the 10th, I remember. Now remember, this is September 29th. Me and my friends are sitting there waiting for Jay-Z's album to come out. I picked up a stack of the register to win things and just wrote my name and phone number, name and phone number, name and phone number. Well, I wrote my name and phone number so much that I ended up getting a call the next Monday telling me that I won a trip to the Bahamas, and I couldn't believe it, so I hung up the phone. They called back, and it was the flavor unit, Chill Will, and he was on the phone. He's like, yo, Troy, don't hang up. Man, you're live on the radio. You just won a trip to the Bahamas, man. And I said, you're lying. They're like, no, for real. I said, guess what? And they said, what? My 21st birthday is October the 7th. You're meaning to tell me for my 21st birthday, I'm going to be spending it in the Bahamas with all these artists. They're like, yeah. So now I'm on a plane to the Bahamas for the first time. And I took my sister with me because I ain't have no girlfriend, nobody liked me. And I took my sister with me, and my sister was like my best friend. And we were just sitting at the table with the radio station. They were broadcasting live from the Bahamas, sitting there with the flavor unit morning show. And everybody and these artists are coming up. Fat Joe, Big Pun, Cameron, Missy Elliott. I'm just like, hey man, I listen to your music. Man, you awesome. Yo, Fat Joe, let me ask you a question, man. Why they call you? And you know, I'm just interrupting the broadcast. I don't work for the radio station. I just interrupted the broadcast. I'm just talking. They kept saying, yeah, this is our grand prize winner. This is Troy. He won. And whatchamacallit, they're like, it's his birthday. Fat Joe's like, it's your birthday? Man, you need a bottle of Cristal. You should be drinking champagne on your birthday. Cristal's nasty. All right? I'm just going to say that. But every artist from that point on bought me a bottle of Cristal. I had all these bottles of Cristal at the table, not realizing that I was being watched by somebody. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. This guy comes up to me with a real deep swag and nice voice, starts talking to me. His name is Doc Winter. He says, hey man, you ever did radio before? And I said, no, I never did radio, but I did TV production in high school. I did skits and all this stuff. I was the class clown. I used to get kicked out of school all the time, man. That's what I did. So he gave me his card, and he said, yo, when we get back to Jacksonville, I want you to call me. I want to talk to you about something. So I called him when we got back, but I called him on a Wednesday. I waited a day or two. And he said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm off from my real job. I ain't doing nothing. He said, well, why don't you come to the radio station? I want to show you something. I said, all right, well, I'll come today. I'll be there after 1 o'clock. He said, all right, no problem. So I go in after 1 o'clock. I sit down with G Wiz, first person I meet from the radio station. He says, gives me 2 pieces of paper. He says, hey man, here's a pen, here's some paper. I want you to write down everything you see on this board right here, and I'll tell you what it does. So I sat down with G Wiz. He showed me everything. Next person comes in, next air shift is Rody Rowe. He comes in. He starts showing me how to use the computer to edit. I learned that. I'm sitting there. This is all in one day. Now, the next person comes in, Eazy-E, Mr. Duval himself. Duval! Eazy-E starts showing me just how to be a clown, but I was already that, so I didn't have nothing to worry about with that. So then Doc comes in before he leaves and says, hey man, can you come back tomorrow? So guess what? I came back. Same thing happened Thursday. Comes back again, says, hey man, can you come back tomorrow? I said, tomorrow's Friday, man. I'm trying to enjoy my Friday. Came back, he said, man, just come back. So Friday at 5 p.m., he walks in the studio, he says, hey man, come in, I want to talk to you. Pulls me in the studio. I said, hey man, you told me I was going to talk to you, but you got me sitting down with all these people, and they're showing me everything what to do, but you ain't talked to me yet. He said, nah, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, tomorrow's Saturday. He said, well, can you be here from 8 to 12 p.m., 8 in the morning? I said, 8 in the morning on a Saturday? All right, I'll be here. So I show up. Jose De La Soul is on the radio. And he, shout out to Yaya. I know you're going to represent for the Puerto Ricans and all that. That was the only time they were on the radio in the morning, early in the morning. Ding, 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 ding. Ah! So he leaves, and I'm sitting in the studio by myself. Nobody's there. And I'm like, hey man, where you going? He's like, I gotta go. And he's out. It's 8 a.m. Phone, the hotline rings. It's Doc on the phone. And he says, yo, he says, you cool? You good? I said, yeah, what am I doing? He says, oh, you about to be on the radio, man, and it's all you from now until 12 o'clock. And I said, for real? He's like, nah, for real. He said, it's all you. Do me a favor. Just don't cuss. I said, what? He said, don't cuss, don't say the N-word, don't say anything you wouldn't say in front of your mama. And I started thinking, damn, what would I say in front of my mama? So I cracked open the mic, and the first words was 92.7 The Beat Jams, representing hip-hop and R&B flavor. I'm a grand prize winner, Troy, and I'm on the radio. I just got a trip. Oh my God! So with that being said, I went from working 3 hours on the weekend, 3 hours went to 6 hours, 6 hours went to 9 hours. A year and a half later, no, it went to overnights. I was doing overnights too. So I was working a real job, making $90-some thousand a year working at Bank of America. And, you know, I'm young. I'm like 22 years old now. And working at Bank of America. And a year and a half goes by after doing overnights from 12 to 6 in the morning. Remember, this is live radio. You can't record anything. You have to be awake. So I used to do that and then go to my real job and be a supervisor. And then get off my real job at 4 o'clock, go home, sleep until 11 o'clock, and ride to the north side over there off of Dunn Avenue by Sam's. Yeah. Trust me, I love the north side. North side used to show up all the time with the radio station. I mean, I can tell you stories, but it was crazy because of the fact that a year and a half went by and I got an opportunity that I never thought I would take. And Doc came to me and said, hey man, we're taking Rody Road off the air because he wants to be the production manager and we need somebody to take on afternoons. Would you like to take this job? And I said, first thing I said, how much you pay? Because I'm making $90,000 at 22 years old, man. I'm doing very good for myself. Well, don't worry about the money. It'll come later. It'll come later. So I quit my job and I became the voice in the afternoons. And October 7th, 2025, this year, makes 27 years that I've been on the radio. In this 27 years, 5 years after being on the radio, I got syndicated. My first market was Philadelphia. Then, yeah, Power 99, that's what's up. That's a WDS, yeah. That's what's, man, you know what's up. That's Patty Jackson right there. So my first radio station was Philadelphia. Then it came Savannah, and then it started just coming in. Next thing I knew, I was syndicated on 5 radio stations. 5 radio stations went to 15. 15 went to 30. 30 went to 50. Next thing I know, I'm on every radio station in the United States. Like, put it in this perspective. Every station you hear the Breakfast Club on, I'm on that station too. And the thing that people always say to me is like, yo, you got a voice for radio. I never understood that to this day. And the one thing I always say is, in this 27 years, I've done things I never thought I would do. 2013, I won my first Emmy Award with the Jacksonville Jaguars, hosting a documentary. Then I started working with Mayweather Promotions for boxing. I did that for 12 years and still am doing that. It's crazy because if you told me when I was 21 all the accolades I would have now, I would never believe you. And to stand in front of y'all today and everybody talk about Ken Knight, and if you from Jacksonville, you just knew Ken Knight as projects in the hood and whatchamacallit. And then you started realizing the real impact that he had on the community.
Right.
And the more and more I dug into understanding what this award meant, I was more happy to be even recognized to receive it. Because you just gotta think, I didn't go to school for this. I didn't go to college for this. I'm really just a contest winner who got an opportunity, and I've just been doing my own thing, and people have been paying attention to it. Everything I've done on the radio has been by accident. It really was never planned. I don't write things down. I mean, I came up with a skit on my show called My Thoughts on What I've Been Thinking, because it was things that I was seeing that didn't make sense. And when I first said it on the radio, it made sense to everybody else. And they were calling in, like, man, you stupid. And I was like, well, how stupid is it? If olive oil comes from olives and vegetable oil comes from vegetables, well, where does baby oil come from? But these are things that I see that didn't make sense. And then I started realizing that, hey, you know what? This is what I'm going to continue to do. I'm just going to continue having fun on the radio. Somebody said to me, he said, what do you love about your job? And I said, it's not a job. I never worked a day in my life. So before I walk away, I always tell people this, man. I got saved before my 21st birthday. And my lifestyle before that was not something I like to talk about. But when I got saved, I went to church at Potter's house, and I said to the pastor, I said, listen, I need to know my purpose. I need to know what I'm here for, because what I'm doing right now is not serving nobody. September 29th, 1998 is when God put me on that train. Wow. And here we are today. So thank you again for just recognizing T. Roy from 93.3 to be an iHeartRadio. Nikki was one of my first sales reps. Monique Blue was one of my first sales reps. Yaya was my promotion director. And Wiz Kid, who's in here doing his thing. Just to be somewhere and watch for the last 27 years what my impact has been in my city is amazing. And now I'm the voice and the host of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, again, thank you to everybody, and I'll see you at the Jaguar games. Chris, we got to get together, dog. Real quick. And if you don't know, man, please follow me on Instagram. I ain't got a lot of followers. IAMTEEROY 2.0. All right? And thank you. Again, thank you.
opportunity meets your talent.